Hosting smarter and more actionable meetings with Connect4 is really, really easy. In this video, I'm going to take you through everything you need to know to get started. I'm going to show you how to start an organisation, how to add all of your teammates to that organisation. Then we're going to set up your client portfolio, and then finally we'll start creating a few meetings. So let's get started. So first thing you'll see once you've signed up to Connect4 is you'll land on your main client dashboard page here. You see obviously there's no clients in there yet because we haven't added them, but we do have a prompt here to create your organisation. So I'm just going to click on Get Started. That's asking me to add my organisation name. So that will probably be an accounting practice name. I'm just going to put in a sort of a fictitious firm in here and click Go. And that's now created my organisation. That's all I need to do. You can see here I've been added to the trial plan. I can upgrade that later if I need to. And I've been added as the account owner. So my next step is to add my team members. Now I've got a couple of options here. I can import all my team from Carbon Practice Management System. We've got a separate article all about that software and that integration that you can check out separately. But for the time being, I'm just going to add my teammate manually. So I'm just going to paste in their email address here. Again, this is just a fictitious email address. I'm going to click on Save. And that's added my team member. Now, what that's done is that will have just fired off an email to this person, and they just need to follow the link to get signed up on Connect4, much like you did, and they'll be added to this organisation. And that's all I really need to do to add those team members. I can keep adding those manually. Just to note, if you ever need to get back to this page, it's just located up here, so it's just underneath the feed. Labelled my organisation, and you can come back to that. So my next step is I'm going to start setting up my clients. So I'm going to head back to my main portfolio, and you can see I've immediately been prompted to add a client because I haven't got any in there yet. But I will just quickly show you a couple of other options. Again, we can import them via Carbon. We've got a article all about the integration if that's relevant to you. Or if you've got a big list, big database of clients that you want to add in, you can send a CSV to support@connect4.co.uk and we'll get that added to your organisation as soon as possible. But for the time being, I'm just going to start adding some clients manually. So I'm going to click on here, that's my client. And I'm asked to add an organisation name. Now that will more than likely just be a company name. It might be a person's name. For example, if you're working with a lot of sole traders, perhaps you might just put a person's name. But in most instances, it's just going to be a company, and I'm just going to put in another fictitious company. This time it'll be a construction firm. If I can spell that correctly. There we go. So I've added a name. My next step is to add client contacts. Now I don't have to add those in, but if I do add those contacts to here, they will sort of get notified of different things going on in the pod and all those sorts of things, and they can get actions assigned. And, so I'm just going to put in a fake email address for the time being, so you get the idea. Enter. That's been added. So I can keep adding these firms by clicking on this button. Here, or I can just create this one. So I'm just going to click create. Well, that's going to take me through to my client meeting pod, which is what you can see here. This is our client meeting pod. You can see here on the right hand side, eventually this will be filled up with all the different meetings that you've had and all the meetings in the future. Got a few options in here as well. You can see here this is actually me, so this is just my fake person in here as an accountant. You can see the client that I've added. They haven't registered yet, so that's why it's showing as not registered. Again, they'll get sent an email and they can sign up, and once they've signed up, they'll be a proper member of this. Also here I can add other team members, so if I click on that button there, you can see here's the fake person I added earlier, and I can just click on this to make sure that he gets notified of anything that goes on in this client pod. A few other things to note down here is we can add tags. So perhaps if they were an advisory client, you could add something like that. We'll leave that for the time being. We've got actions in here, so you can create and assign actions to your team members or to your your client contacts, all that type of thing. We've got resources, so you can add in any sort of relevant documents for this particular client to share them. You can make private notes, so these things will be not shared with your client, they'll just be for yourself, or you can create sort of team shared notes as well, so everybody can kind of see those. So if I head back now to my main dashboard, you'll see this listed out as a client. So I can keep adding those manually, as many as I like. In fact, let's just add another one just to show you. Let's call this one, let's make this a design company, so go Comedian Design. We won't bother adding that email address just yet. Create client. And again, we've created another client in there as well, so you should get the idea. Heading back here, we can see we're starting to build up our portfolio, and you can see at a glance who's actually been sort of added to different meeting pods here. So my next step will be to start creating meetings. Now you notice here that we've got this green button. This is available almost anywhere in the app. And you click on here and make a meeting very, very easily. So I'm going to click on that. And the first thing that I'm presented with is the choice of whether I want to use a template. Now you can create all sorts of meeting agenda templates, and we've got some separate information on that. But for the time being, I'm just going to set up with a blank template. Now I'm asked whether I want to make this a client meeting or a team meeting. Now Connect4 is not just a client meeting platform; it's also super helpful to run really efficient meetings with your team. In fact, I'm just going to sort of show you very quickly how I might do that, how I might set up a team meeting. So I'm going to click on team, and then all I need to do here is choose who I want to add to this this team meeting. So let's choose the person I added earlier, Dominic, so I'll add him in there. And I'm going to make this like a one-to-one type pod, where we maybe catch up weekly to kind of discuss what's going on. And then I've got an option here. I can schedule something in, which I'll show you shortly, but I can actually just leave it exactly like this for the time being, and that's totally fine. I don't need to add anything more. And I can create that meeting. So I'm going to click on create meeting. I'm going to just close that up to show you where that's come in. So see, we're in our client dashboard here with our clients listed. Now, very similar to this, we have an area called Team Huddle. So if I go into here, you'll actually see the huddle, the huddle that I created just now. So if I click into this, this is just this huddle that I created with my teammate, and it's a very similar view. Obviously, we've got nothing in here just yet. We haven't created any actions or added any resources, but that'll get quickly filled out with different things. And you can see here this meeting that I created, and you might have remembered that I didn't click on the schedule button. I didn't add a date. I just wanted to put something in for the future, and that's shown up there. So you can see those starting to get built out there. So that's the kind of team huddle side of things. I'm going to head back to my client dashboard and sort of show you how to start creating some meetings with clients, and we'll talk a little bit about how you schedule and all those sorts of things. So let's head into this this client that I created earlier. And again, we've got this new meeting button. I can click on here to create a new meeting and get started. So let's click on that. Again, we've got this option of whether I want to use a template. I haven't set up any templates in here just yet, so that's why nothing is being shown, but we've got some separate information on agenda templates, which you can check out. So I'll select blank for the time being. And again, I'm prompted to sort of give this a meeting name. So let's say this is the sort of, perhaps it's a very early meeting where we're going to sort of talk about different software we use and how things will work going forward. So we'll call it an onboarding meeting. We'll click on continue this time. And now I'm presented with this option to schedule my meeting. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to sort of choose when I want it to take place. Before I sort of add in these details, it's worth me noting that there's a few different options here for your sort of location. By default, it's sort of selected as like an in-person or a phone call location. So so you can do all your meetings. You can document all your meetings that take place in person. But we've got some others in here as well. We can add in a Teams link. In fact, I've already sort of pre-added one in here that you can see. We can have something via Zoom, Google Meet, obviously, or the last option here is actually to use Connect4's native video, which runs in the browser and just requires you to sort of go to a link. So it can be a nice, easy option for clients to join if they haven't got Teams or whatever. But let's select Teams for the time being. We've got our link in here. It will look something like that. Let's choose our date. So let's say it is next Monday. Let's just choose a time. Let's say it's at midday, and we'll say it's a 30-minute meeting. So I'm going to create that meeting. Click on that button, and that's all created now. That's all done. Now I've got an option here to add that to my calendar, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to click on Add to Calendar. So I'm using Outlook. You can see I've opened up my sort of fake Outlook account here. I'll click on that. And that's actually just going to add in a calendar event when it's loaded up. One moment. Brilliant. So that's now been added. What you can see is it's actually added a load of things already that you need. So it's already named my meeting. So I called it an onboarding meeting earlier. It's added my sort of fake email address here, so I've just put this demo address here. It's added my my colleague that you saw me add, and it's added my the client name as well in here. So we've got everything we need here. It's also added a location. Now it's got this sort of slightly funny one because I'm on a demo account, but that will just give you a link directly to this pod here that's been created in here. So let's head back to that. You can see here as well, we've also got the link through to the meeting as well, so you can kind of click through there as well. So if I just click on send now, that will actually just send off that that invite to the people that have been already set up in here, and it's added it to my calendar, so it should be in for next week. So I've got that's because it's the wrong email address, but you can see here that it's been added in for Monday there, and if I click on that, you can see that it will take me through to the correct location in there, and it's showed in there as well, which is really, really handy. So let's head back over here. So you can see here that I've set up that meeting, I've scheduled it, and it's all good to go. Probably one last thing to kind of show you on here is if I click into here, a good idea might well be to add in your agenda ready for that meeting. So I've actually just clicked into this meeting, and you'll see a few things going on here. First of all, we've got this add to calendar button, so the thing I just showed you just now. So if you didn't add it then, you can sort of add it to your calendar there, or you can copy that and send it to someone. You can see the link where the video is taking place. That's just this fake link here. And we've got all our tools over here. So as discussed, you can sort of assign actions. Now you can do that at any time. You can do that during a meeting or before a meeting. So perhaps we want to say to my colleague that we want to complete a report or whatever before this meeting. We'll leave the due date for the time being, but you can assign an action in there. And as you can see, that's kind of put that in for that person to do before the meeting. What I should have a look at here as well is the agenda. So we've got a space for an agenda in here. So I'm just going to click on Edit Agenda. And we've got a bunch of options. Now, in your version of this, you'll see a whole load of expert agendas populated in here. I'm just on a demo version, so I don't have those showing, but I'll click into here and I can just create a new agenda here. So let's just put in something very generic, point 1, and that'll take sort of 15 minutes, and point 2, that will take 15 minutes too. Now, something we can do here is this will actually be visible to everybody. So if I go to exit that, it will be showing. But I can also do some hidden agenda points as well that are only visible to me and my teammates. So let's add one in here as well, and we'll just call that hidden. So this could be something that you want to bring up with a client, but you don't necessarily want to put into the into the agenda itself, and you can just click on this button to hide it. So I'm going to head back to my my meeting now, and as you can see, it's added in these different points in here, as well as that kind of hidden one in there as well with the correct timing. I can also email that out as well. So if I click on the email agenda, I can send this out to everybody that's in this pod. So that'll be my client and my teammate there in there as well. I can send them a little message and include any action items as well. So that's pretty much all you need to know to set up that meeting. When it comes to actually joining the meeting, all you need to do is head back to this link to this meeting that you've created, and because you've already set up this this link to Microsoft Teams, all you need to do is click on this button, and that will fire up the Teams link that you've got in here, and you can get going. You can share this link directly with your client, and they can come straight into this view. They'll see most of the things in here. If they're not registered, they won't see a couple of bits. They won't see the resources and things like that, but they'll see everything else, and they can see the big button Get Started. So it's very easy for them to join a meeting. They just come to here. They can see what the agenda is immediately, and then start up the relevant Teams or Zoom link or whatever you've got in here. Finally, once you've once you're coming to the end of a meeting, or once you've finished it entirely, you likely will have done a number of things. You probably will have added a load of notes in here, so you can add a load of things to your meeting notes. I can actually very easily just copy the agenda to my minutes in here, and I can start to sort of make notes in there, like you'll see, that sort of thing. I can obviously add some actions for different people to do. But once I'm done with everything, once I'm happy that I've completed all of my notes and that I've assigned all my actions, I can actually just mark that as complete. So if I just do that now, I'll now head back to my main sort of client pod view, which is this one here, and you'll see the meeting that's just taken place here, and that's all sorted there. Now, what I can do is I can just sort of keep creating new meetings. So if I want to very quickly sort of do a very similar meeting, perhaps a follow-on meeting to that, I can just duplicate that meeting in there. Let's create another onboarding meeting. Perhaps that's a follow up to the first thing, and no date's been added there yet, but I can go in there and change all the dates around, and that's all fine. So that's kind of pretty much covers all of the basics. So we've set up our organisation, you'll see here. We've started to add our clients in there as well. We've created some separate team meetings as well, and we started creating some meetings. And actually, to view all those meetings, you can actually go into here to see any upcoming meetings. Now, you won't see too much in there just yet, but you'll see that client meeting, that team meeting that we set up earlier, and we've got that duplicate onboarding meeting in there as well. And we can also show any sort of completed things that have happened here. So that was that completed meeting in there. So that about sums everything up. If you need any more assistance, then do reach out. We can always help you out, but hopefully this gives you a good overview of how to get started with Connect4. Thanks a lot.